Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to another edition of He's and Has with Dr. Show. This edition promises to be wonderful, splendid. My God, you're going to have a swell time. We have Words on the Street. We have He's and Has Yarns with some super dope guests today. And so we also have Word by Dr. Show. We have so many juicy stuff for you today. Do not go anywhere. Sit back, enjoy, and have a wonderful time. I'll be right back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for those watching us, this is He's and Has Yarns with Dr. Seun. I have two wonderful guests with me right here. I'm so super excited because these people. All right, so today we'll be talking about family finance. So let me introduce my guests to you. First, in no particular order. All right, so I'm starting with the man right here, ladies and gentlemen. He's an architect. He's a father. He's a dad. Babatara. Married to a very beautiful wife. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me make welcome Mr. Akintade Okewale.
Thank you for having me today on this platform.
Please do not be deceived by the calmness of the answer. You will be surprised today. Also, I have right here with me on the table today of He's and Has Yarns. Please help me make welcome someone of whom I have much respect for. She's an architect as well as an impact and development consultant. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the one and only Miss Janet Lanre Adekunle.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
One more time, do not be deceived by the calmness of their answers. They are still going to shake tables. All right, so let's get into it right away. Basically, today we're talking about family finance. All right, so I need you all. Let's start on this note. Let me just throw out this question and see how we can pick it up from there.
Okay.
Should a single, now I would ask you to answer first because he's a married man.
And I'm single. Okay.
But I know there's somebody there. But let's just leave that out of the question. So should a single disclose his salary before marriage?
Before marriage?
Yeah.
In a relationship?
In a relationship. A single that is in a relationship with someone, either male or female, should they disclose
their salaries or what they earn?
Yes.
Absolutely, I think so. Particularly if you've built trust with the person that you're in a relationship with. So it's not. I'm not talking about disclosing. Just like you won't disclose your earnings or what you earn to someone that you've just met in, say, 2 months, 3 months, or a friend that you've just met. The same thing applies in a relationship. You only disclose your earnings or what you earn or your income because you've built trust with the person and you know that they are sane enough to understand.
But don't you trust the person? I mean, it's just, I mean, somebody you claim to love. I feel that you should just tell them everything. You know, people always say be open, tell them what it is in your heart, let them know everything from the onset, so that there won't be anything hidden.
It is still the onset. I'm talking about. It depends. So sometimes you meet someone, and within the space of a month, the relationship has grown. The level of trust has grown. Sometimes it takes you a month to develop trust. And sometimes it takes you a year to develop trust. I think you disclose your earnings after you have developed trust. Not just because you are feeling something, because you have developed trust.
So you disclose not for feeling.
Not for feelings.
But for trust.
But for trust.
Like, am I correct, sir?
This person, yes.
Okay. The way you were talking was smiling. So something is telling you that he has
different opinion.
So talk to us, sir.
Well, I think for men, you should give the perspective of what you earn, not disclose everything, because you still want to keep the surprise package in your pockets. This is necessary in the relationship, that even after you build the trust, after she must have earned the trust, you still have to exercise some caution. And
so caution, by caution you mean you should have to lie a little bit?
Not lie.
Technically.
Okay, let's say technically I earn 150,000, for example. I disclose 100, or let me say I have between 150, depends on how the
work schedule is or how the job comes in.
So she puts her mind on maybe 100. So we plan with that because whatever you disclose to a woman, she's going to plan with it.
So you're saying you shouldn't. Shouldn't tell the whole truth. I mean, that's why you're advocating for a little lie.
Honestly, honesty should be selective.
Why do you think you need to disclose only a part of it? Is it because you do not trust her to help manage it well?
No.
If it is because you do not trust her to help manage it well, then it comes into question how much you trust her.
No, I'm not talking in terms of trust now.
Okay.
I'm talking in terms, I want to be selectively honest with her. So
selective honesty is
lying.
Lies. It's lying. Omission is lying.
Thank you very much.
The first thing is that omission is lying. But when you know the exact amount of a thing and you intentionally say otherwise, you are outrightly lying.
I never said I said otherwise. I said I gave range.
You're given a range.
So you're saying between 100 and 150.
But not the absolutes.
No, what you said is like I earn 150, I tell her 100.
No, I said I disclose I earn 150.
But you disclose that you earn between
between 100 and 150. Okay.
So to speak.
Okay.
So that at the end of the day, she will plan herself based on the list outcome, and you still have the surprise package of holding on because with the study of this gender, the female gender will plan with whatever you give to them, and they plan well. They are excellent planners. That is why you need to.
But wait.
Okay.
If you are in a relationship,
yes,
the person, I don't see any reason why the person should be planning based on your money anyways. You're only disclosing because you're thinking about building a future. Do you understand? And you want the person to know.
Talk to me.
At that stage, the person has no right to your money. So when you're disclosing, it is also the process of building trust and telling about the kind of future that we could build together.
Okay, this will pop up another question. When do you disclose this?
So what the question is before marriage. So
before marriage.
Before marriage.
It's ending up in marriage, right?
Yes.
We are not sure it's ending up in marriage.
Yes.
Then we need to still keep this surprise package because whatever you disclose to her before marriage will still be your truth after marriage, right?
Yeah.
So you still need to keep this selective honesty in place to make the surprise package worth it. This is what I think. Let me learn. This is what I think. When you disclose an 100, or let me say when you disclose, tell her, oh, I have between 150, 150.
Yeah.
She plans with the least possible outcome, which is 100.
Okay.
You are comfortable to give extra to her.
Okay.
In case the plan goes beyond the budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you plan 150, if you disclose 150 already,
which is what you really heard.
Which is what you really heard, which is the honest truth.
Yeah.
And the plan goes beyond 150 because the study of the female gender shows that they are good planners. They plan with everything and everything. And when I mean everything and everything, if I tell my wife today I have 20,000 naira with me in my pocket, I'm sure that I don't have that money.
Are you let me interject. Are you comfortable? Because it seems we are planning, we're discussing this with the aspect of the man disclosing what he earns.
Yes.
The same thing. Do you agree that the same thing should apply to the other side? Like if it were reversed and she's earning 500,000 and she tells you 300, are you comfortable with that?
If she tells me 300, that would be a lie. She should give me a range as well.
Okay, so she should so you're comfortable with that 300 and 500. Okay. Then it's fine. Then we're good. Then we're good.
We know what is expected.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You don't bring a burden of exactly 150,000. There's something that comes with when the man doesn't have money. There's a cycle with it. There's a cycle with when women don't have money.
Okay.
And it's more dangerous for the woman not to have money with her than for the man.
Why?
This is what I mean. Women are tempted when they have nothing. Men are tempted when they have everything. So
another angle.
Oh my God!
To make the home balance,
okay,
you have to give the woman the impression that there is money.
Okay,
so you're saying that you would, even when you do not have it, you say that you do have it.
I am supposed to have it. But the duty of the man in the relationship is provision and protection.
Provision and protection. Let me just pause you there. Now you're saying two things.
Yes.
Now you're saying you should always have it. And you're also saying don't say everything.
Yes.
Okay, so now you are advocating for a little lie.
Yes.
When you don't have,
you're also,
it's also a lie. So whatever name you choose to call it.
This is why it is problematic, because I feel like you do not even believe, you're not open. You do not even believe in the capability of the person you're with to handle the truth. What do you think, what's the worst that could happen if you sit your partner down and say that, oh, this is what we have on ground? Like, she would manage it with you. So why are you thinking that she's not strong enough to handle the truth? Or that she's even going to be problematic when she learns that you don't have as much as...
Okay, let me put it in perspective for you
now. You have 1 minute to do that.
Let me put it in perspective for you now.
Yeah.
So, we have this arrangement that, okay, I hand between 150 and 100
and 150. Yeah.
So she plans with the 100.
She also earns, so.
No,
she also
I'm
earns,
not even concerned about what she earns now. Now, she plans with the 100. And at the end of the day, I found out that, what if we could add 30K to it? And she was like, oh, I'll be able to do this, I'll be able to, okay, you have the 30K again.
What if she now asks you something like, where did you get the 30K from?
And I think a lot of families...
How do you ask?
No. I need to know the source.
I need to understand each gender.
So that means it brings me to the next question before I go to the major question. So that means you shouldn't tell your partner all the sources of your income. What you are saying. Should you do that? Would you do that?
Here's the thing.
Yes.
Would you tell
people?
Okay.
I feel like we're talking about relationship, but let me move it to family.
Okay.
I feel that partners do not have an issue with knowing everything that is going on with your finances. I don't think that's usually the issue.
Okay.
I think the issue is financial infidelity. When I see that you are hiding details, I might not necessarily want to know, but when I see that you're intentionally hiding details of what you earned from me, then it becomes problematic. Why are you hiding the money? The one on top, maybe you tell me 100,000, then I see your payment slip or whatever one day, and I see that it's 200,000. Then I'm like, oh, what is happening to it? Do you understand? What is killer?
I see the check, but probably one of those days it comes out.
So the truth is that if she says that you're earning 100, she's not going to take it from you. She's going to plan around like, oh, we need so amount for family. Let me just finish. Okay. We need so amount for family and all of that. When you start, and a lot of families experience problems. Okay. We've heard that sex is probably the top on the list, but they also experience problems because of money.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Then when I now see that you are not being fully, my trust, whether that was in your intention or not, or whether you're even building for the family, my trust in you is shattered. Do you understand? Because you've lied.
So now
even though
trust issue is there already. Now, let me tell you, sorry, sir. Let me tell you why I asked the question. The reason why I asked the question is this. What if you disclose what you earn, being a lady, to your guy before you get married, and probably you earn a lot more than him? Wouldn't that be a basis for him to fall in love with you more? Now, knowing that you earn more is like, oh boy, my joker is here. Wouldn't he be falling in love with the money and not the person?
It depends.
Okay, so you need to look at that factor as well. If the person if you disclose everything and the person falls in love with you, that means you are not sure what the person is in love with.
No, it's just the same way. So oftentimes, at least on this side of the word, it's always like, oh, the man probably earns more in the relationship. So does every man doubt the love of the woman, or do they think that the woman is only with them because of how much they earn? I don't think so. It might be possible that would happen, but that's why you are having different conversations and you're learning about the person while you're courting. Kosi, sorry for speaking Yoruba. It is impossible if it is because of the money. During the process of getting to know each other, the person would have acted it out. Except you're not looking out for it. If you are looking,
would have acted it out.
Do you understand? If you're going as a couple, no matter even if the person is earning less than you, and they're not willing to pay for things, Do you understand? When you go out together and you're always the one paying. If you close your eyes and decide to fall in, to marry the person, then it's your problem. Do you understand? That is, the person's behavior does not leave them overnight.
Oh my God!
Do you understand? A gold digger is a gold digger.
Iwa cooking feel uniwale. Okay, so let's just put a pause on that. So I think you guys have established different points.
Yes.
Now, do you have something to just cap it up with?
Well, like she said, I agree with that position. A gold digger will always be a gold digger.
Okay.
And the question is not for guys, because most times on dinner dates and everything, the guy pays.
Okay.
So that's regardless of whether he's richer or
poor.
So that's all.
The guy still pays.
The guy still pays. So,
we still survive.
yes. So that is not a question.
Okay. Don't let me go.
Let's not go. Let's just go to the next.
Let us go to the next. Okay, so a saying goes that he that does not provide for his own is worse than
an infidel.
Okay, so should the family finance depend solely on the man, even if the woman earns more? Should the woman just say, my husband should take care of the family? Should he rest solely on the man, irrespective of what they earn? Now, we are not talking about, she earns more, he earns more. Should the family finance rest on the man? Because this part of the world, some men are running nuts, all in the name of, I want to provide for my family. I don't want my family to beg. They are all out. Any job, talk to me, sir. You are the man here.
Which has led so many men to their early graves anyway.
Wow.
But really, the word is family.
Okay.
And the concept remains the family. And I think this is where it comes to dialogue on how much bill do we have every month.
Okay.
Because the responsibility is still much of the responsibility, I would say 70% according to New York Times, still falls on the man.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that the women don't take much more than the 30% allocated with them. But it will just end up to ease the stress on the man.
Okay. So
I think both of them should share it, but majorly the man should come up, because the duty of a man in the Bible, we remember that God compares the position of the husband to the position of God, like he's the head of the woman. So, and the major duty of this post is provision and protection.
Okay.
And this must be made exemplary from the man.
So it should rest solely on the man.
I said 70-30.
So that means that's an A. If you get 70 over 100.
It's mostly.
And I added that doesn't stop the woman from taking part of the 70. Yes.
Okay, so
because in most Nigerian homes, it could be worse. It could be 90-10.
Okay, the husband taking 90
and
then the wife taking 10.
Because when you look at what women need,
it's much more than what the man needs.
Talk
to me, brother!
This is why we have to excuse these things for the women. For example, I cut my hair on the average, I spend 1,000 naira or thereabouts. She makes her hair one time and she's spending 8,000, 5,000.
That's even
if she's very considerate.
Can I come in? Can I come in?
Yeah.
What?
I can immediately ask for the price of coloring.
I did it myself. So I did it myself. So let us even, before I even come to, maybe I should even address that one first before going back to the question.
Let's start from the
so when you were saying that the things that women need, like the cosmetic things, when I say cosmetic, I don't mean makeup, like the things that makes them feel good, that women need is more than men. I don't think it's true.
Are you sure?
Because
on that part outside, sitting down.
Men are very particular. Okay. See, when men decide to be particular about cosmetic things, they go for the expensive things, right? Okay. Men are super particular about their cars. Do you understand? And they will go to any. So when you measure the things the men spend on eventually, compared to the little things that the women spend on, you realize that it's about the same thing. Do you understand? I think that's just my stance. So when the woman is spending on the daily, you think that it is a lot. Okay. But when eventually the man decides to spend once, when you compare the price, a woman might buy shoes of 10,000 naira once a month, but the man might decide to buy one shoe in 6 months. But when he's buying that shoe,
be like a 250.
Do you understand? So eventually, when you compare it, it's about the same. Now going back
should the family finances rest solely on the man?
I don't think so.
Why?
And I don't even believe this might be my personal opinion, and some women might differ. Their opinion might differ from mine. I believe in working in percentages. Do you understand? Okay. And I believe working in terms of projects.
Okay.
Do you understand? So say a family, you're earning, I'm earning. I don't care who is earning more, right?
Okay.
If the home front, it is a project.
Okay.
We have to pay rent. We have to pay for the daily things that we eat.
Okay.
So if we've decided that 20% of what we're earning is what we are giving to that project, then 20% of what you're earning and 20% of what I'm earning goes into a purse that we use for upkeep. If we decide that, we need to build a place of our own, both of us are contributing. Do you understand? Except that might be changed. So, and when you say things like that, people might be too particular about it and hold on to it. I might have a personal project that would necessitate that the percentage that I give at a particular time is less than what I would usually give. So say I am doing a training somewhere, because I've spent a lot on it. As a considerate partner, you should understand that, this person is currently spending a lot and is going to bring more to the table at the end of the day. Then we'll sit down and we'll discuss it. And if you're also doing a project, a personal project that necessitates that you're spending a lot on something else, then we'll discuss it again at the table. Do you understand?
So it shouldn't be fixed.
But it shouldn't be fixed, depending on what is going on in your lives at a particular time. But if nothing is going on, same percentages. So if you are earning ₦1 million and she's earning 30,000 naira, if it is only Ayo and she's able to buy, and you pay for everything, in that sense, you might think that you're paying for 70%. You're not actually paying for 70%. Both of you are contributing equally at that point, even though the amount seems big.
Depending on what you're earning.
Because the percentage of what she's contributed in comparison to what she's earning is the same thing as you have contributed in comparison to what you're earning.
All right.
So it's not 70%, it's equal contribution in that sense.
All right. For the first part of your answer, where you said that men do buy things that are more
I don't know that. Both of you are not just resting on that matter. Okay, let me take your opinion on that. 1 minute, and then we'll round up this first session. Okay.
I will say that even from the inception of the marriage, you use 2 rings, I use 1. I could go out without a wallet. You can't go out without your bag.
See, let's just not go into because I for one I take only let's not go.
Analytically.
That's what I'm talking about, little things.
Money. Now let's go back to your second point of spending on percentages, that she contributes this. Will a man, I'm just asking this for the men at home generally, will you actually trust your wife to return back to the table because she went to spend more money on training?
To return back to the table?
To return the money back to the table. You said that she would balance the book after the training is over.
No, that's not what I said. I think you misunderstood it.
She's saying that if she has spent a lot on a particular project,
we know that it's an improvement. The percentage that she's going to drop at that moment might be less. Same thing applies to the other party.
Later when she earns more, with the percentage now?
No. Because it's the same thing for both parties. No, that's not what I meant. That you now come back and balance it.
So now, if you have let's say we are contributing 20% on the project now. So because you are undergoing a training for that period of time, you could only come up with 5%.
10%, 5%, yeah.
5%. So I have to add the 15% deficit from you to mine, right?
If you choose to.
I will choose to, because we have a bill of 40%.
If you choose to, and when the roles are reversed, that's why I'm saying that both of you are coming to the table before you even go for the training as a couple. Do you understand? You would have sat. Both of you would have sat down. What will he take from us?
I could now not say that my wife shouldn't go for a training.
No, that's what I'm. No, both of you would have discussed it. You would have discussed it.
All right, so coming up, my director is already doing like this. We are talking about matter here. All right, so when we come back, with all that's been said, there should be a ratio, you know, the 70-30, some said 90-10, you know, depending on whatever it is. So now, like you heard, when we come back, I just want to ask them. So that means if it's 70-30, okay, no, I'll ask them some questions. I don't want to let you all know. I see some juicy things. Things like if the wife is earning more, should the wife still continue? You understand? Can she still need that? I know that people, after they drop money like, this is 700K for the week, and they now go. And you now say, hey, come here, you didn't need that and give me the money where, damn anymore. With the respect still be there, with the love still be there. So ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned, do not go anywhere. We're talking about family finance. It's Easy as Yans with Dr. Seun. Now Honeyton is still right here with this wonderful guest, fully seated. After the break.
You're welcome to Word on the Street. This is where we get to hear people's opinion, and today we're going to be talking about family finances. You know, family finance, when it comes to finance, hey, it's everything in marriage, yo. I want to tell you a secret. It's because of finance. That's why some of us are still single. I did not mention my name, but last time I checked, I'm single. Okay. We want to know your opinion about this. Should financial responsibility be shared in marriage? What do you think?
Should financial responsibilities should be shared in marriage?
To be shared, like husband will do some, like husband will pay school fees, wife will pay for PE, dress and book. Which one?
I do not agree. I'm not supposed to share responsibility when it comes to the financial aspect. My husband is supposed to do everything, basically, but I'm going to support him, of course. But I don't believe that we should share it. Then it will not turn to the norm, and I don't think I want to put myself in that.
So he should be the one to pay NEPA bill, house rent, everything.
We'll support him, you know, the little we can do. Yeah. But putting it equal, like sharing it into two, for me is a no-no.
So can a single guy disclose his salary to his spouse before marriage?
Well, it's not compulsory, but it's necessary. But for me, I can't disclose that.
You can disclose that, but it's not compulsory.
It's not compulsory now. Because your partner should know your level, financial level, and then what you can afford and what you cannot. All right. So basically, if she knows about it, then it will put you in a better situation to control the finances in the relationship.
I feel it's good.
Okay.
It's a yes for me.
Yes, okay.
Because we want to know what we are going into. Yes.
The transaction.
Okay. It's not really the transaction. Like, I want to know what my spouse is earning. If like to know if we'll be able to, if he's capable to take care of a family.
To do the whole thing.
Or to hold a family, or to have a family.
Okay.
Because if there's no funds, you can't have a family. You can't go into marriage. So I will have to know the income.
So we have to know before we dive inside. You understand? To know how deep it is.
Wow. You believe me that this edition is a blockbuster, and we've not even ended the program yet. We're just in between the real gist for you. Easy as Yans, they are blowing really hot. Don't touch that dial. The Word by Dr. Seun is coming up next.
Hello there, it's nice having you on the East and As edition of September. I trust that you've been having a wonderful time all through this year, and I trust that it will keep getting better and better. By the grace of God, we will be talking on family finance. Family finance. Marriage can bring major financial advantages or disadvantages to you, depending on whom you choose to marry. Finance-related issues are part of the leading issues resulting in divorce and separation among couples around the globe today. And I've come to conclude that if you don't have money-related issues in your marriage, the likely challenges you would have in your marriage has been drastically reduced. In fact, the Bible makes us to understand that the contention for human attention is not between God and Satan. It is between God and Mammon. And Mammon actually means money. The Bible said in Matthew chapter 6 verse 24, I'll be reading the Amplified Version. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate one or love the other. He will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and Mammon. Then open bracket, the Mammon was interpreted as money, possessions, fame, or status. Therefore, I would suggest that before saying I do, the discussion of family finance is one of the most important and strategic topics to discuss between you and your partner. It should be mutually understood, and the intending couples should have a workable modality adopted for managing their finances. And peradventure, if you are already married and you didn't get to discuss this vital issue, it is not too late. You can sit down with your spouse and have a heart-to-heart talk on how to manage your finances. Understanding the role finance plays in the success of any marriage cannot be overemphasized. And you and your partner owe it to yourselves to have an honest conversation about your finances. There are several questions that you would need to pay attention to when addressing or trying to understand the issue of finances. And I'm going to touch some of these questions as time permits. The first question that you might want to ask if you are intending to get married is, what sources of income or what streams of income do we have? You want to know the streams of income you have. It could be a stream if it is only one out of the two people working and earning a living. It could be two if it is both parties involved in the relationship earning a living. And it could happen to be multiple streams of income. This happens in cases where the person is working probably for an organization or for the government, and the person also has a side business that is generating income. I would want to say the more the streams of income, the higher the chances of the couple being financially comfortable. I would also want to say that as much as possible, because people pay attention to what do we earn, how much are you earning, I would want to sound a note of caution that before you disclose how much you are earning to a person, be convinced beyond any reasonable doubt that the person has serious and genuine motives regarding your love relationship. Because at times, people stay in the relationship because of what they have to gain. When they know that the person has a lovely take-home package, then they feel that at least I'm financially safe. It's better to cry in a Hummer Jeep than to cry on a bike. And they claim they love the person just because of what the person has to offer. So in order to be able to differentiate between whether they love you for who you are or for how much you earn, you have to have proven beyond any reasonable doubt that this person is into you, not into your pocket, before you disclose how much you earn. I will also want to point our attention to the fact that it is not enough to know the number of streams that generate income in that relationship. And it is also not enough to know how much a person earns. You have to know their spending habits. It is very, very important to know the spending habits of your partner. This is because your partner's spending habits will tell you where your money or the money that comes into your family is likely to go. The spending habit of your partner will give you an inclination to the direction to which the money that comes into your marriage or into your family will be channeled. Interestingly, money-related crises might not come into marriages as a result of small earnings. Money-related crises might come into marriages as a result of bad spending habits. We have people that earn well, but they don't live well because they have bad habits of betting, of alcoholism, of womanizing. Some women have bad habits of jewelry, excessive purchase. Some have bad habits of acquiring clothes, several expensive clothes for every weekend parties. So it's not enough to know how much they are earning. You have to know what their spending habits are in order to be able to juxtapose whether there will be financial elasticity in that family or not. That is not the only question to ask. You might also want to ask about the family expenditures of the proposed family. So you are thinking and intending to build a marriage together. What are the likely expenditures that you are going to have in the marriage? There are some that are fixed expenditures, there are some that are recurrent expenditures. You have to find out so that you would know how to plan your life. The rent or accommodation is a critical expenditure. Feeding, electricity bills, transportation from home to work. Those are the things you need to factor. And as you are factoring it, it will bring other questions on how to go about it. So, when you know what the likely expenditure is on monthly basis, vis-a-vis what comes in on monthly basis, you would know how to balance things or things to regulate, things to do without, or things to bring into it. If you need to add another stream of income or whatever needs to be done to ensure that the end gets properly met. So you think of the expenditure and you discuss it elaborately. Another thing you need to pay attention to are future expenditure. Sometimes when you are sitting down and you are analyzing what you need to spend and what direction the money will go, there are times that there are some things that will eventually surface that has not surfaced yet. You have to factor them. For example, when a couple is planning, you are planning for yourself and for your husband. You are thinking about your feeding, you are thinking about transportation, you are thinking about electricity bill, and so on and so forth for two people. But over time, children starts coming. And as the children comes, the bills get increased. And your company will not increase your salary just because you became a father or because you became a mother. So you have to sit down and analyze future expenditure that might come in based on the marriage and the fact that two couples or two people decide to live their life together. So the expenditures of the future will tell you how to space things, how to time things. When you know what you are earning and you know that you might need to make up some savings before children start coming in, it will give you a clue whether you want to wait for a year before you start rearing children, or you want to wait for 2 years. It will also give you a clue to how many children you should have. You don't have the number of children you want, you have the number of children you can afford. Because children don't come cheap. Also, you might also want to find out if your partner has maybe a child from a prior relationship or affair. All those ones are expenditure that you might find yourself channeling finances to, and you have to plan it. Another question you might need to ask is if your spouse have dependent siblings or dependent parents. Is he the one financially responsible for the welfare of his siblings or her siblings? Is he or she the one financially responsible for the welfare of his or her parents? You have to know, because you will still need to allocate resources to that. There are certain cultures in Nigeria where it is the firstborn of the family that is responsible for the welfare, the education, and the upbringing of the other siblings. So if you are marrying into a culture like that, you want to know if the person has a good job. And you also want to wait if you have what it takes to shoulder that kind of responsibility before making financial decisions or other decisions, as the case may be. I will also want to point our attention to asking questions about joint accounts. Should we have a joint account or should we not? Many people believe that once we love ourselves and once we care for ourselves, there should be no secrets among us, there should be no hidden thing, and our money should be together, and so on and so forth. I don't have an issue with it, but it should be appropriately discussed. It has its advantages and it has its disadvantages. If you are married to a spender, somebody that tends to overspend, or somebody that hides their income, if you have a joint account, you will be able to checkmate that. Because as the money lands into the account, you see what enters. And the other person cannot just spend it anyhow without your permission. That is the advantage of a joint account. But it also has its own disadvantage, in the sense that life happens. Life happens. And when life happens and you are sharing a joint account, you might find yourself in trouble. For example, maybe things go south between the husband and the wife, and maybe assault or physical abuse is involved, and the woman is thinking of taking a break in order to be able to find a solution to the challenges. The fact that they share a joint account might limit what the woman can do, because she will not individually have access to the money in the bank. And many women suffer in silence because they do not have their own money. The money is joint, or they don't even have at all. So that can be a disadvantage where the issue of joint account is concerned. Also, there are cases whereby, God forbid, things happen and maybe there is a demise of a spouse or whatever, and extended family starts coming in. One might not be able to touch the money because it's a joint account until certain things are put into place. And between when the occurrence takes place and the certain things that will give you access to the money are put into place, so many things might have gone wrong. There are also instances where there will be legitimate needs to surprise the other person, and you might be thinking, how do I extract this money to surprise my spouse without them knowing? It is rarely possible when a joint account is involved. So you have to weigh the pros and the cons. Do you want a joint account so that you'll be able to help your spouse manage their excesses in lavish spending or in careless spending? Or do you want to have your individual account so that everyone is in charge of what comes into them? Well, I personally believe that whether it is joint account or individual accounts, marriage is for mutual help, mutual assistance, and mutual support. So when it's an individual account you are running and your spouse needs help financially and you have it, support them. And if it's also a joint account too, it might not be bad having a joint account based on the agreement that a particular percentage of the earnings go into it. Then probably individuals have their own personal account in case they want to do personal things. It is also important while asking questions to ask questions about assets and liabilities. You want to know the assets and liabilities the person you are intending to marry or you are married to has. There are instances where it is after marriage that a spouse discovers that the other spouse is neck deep into debt. Bank loans, housing loans, car loans that the spouse knows nothing about. They told them that this is how much I'm earning. It is true, but how much you earn and how much you take home are two different things. Some people on the paper earn 250,000, for example, but their take home might be 50,000. They might be using 200,000 monthly to service a loan or to service a debt incurred. So you have to find out, do you have liabilities? Do you have assets? Let me know what I'm getting into so that you will know how to plan your life and how to run the finances. Even when it comes to wedding, regarding couples that are intending to wed, you have to find out, how do we fund this? Is it our parents funding the wedding or are we the ones funding the wedding? And if we are the ones funding the wedding, which ratio or how do we take responsibility? What are you going to do? What am I going to do? How do we make it happen? This is important so that after marriage, you will not have backlogs of debt to sort. And the couple will not find themselves stranded, having to drink garri or live below standard because they had a wedding. So everything has to be appropriately discussed. I would want to encourage us as couples that our financial responsibilities should be aligned with our financial realities based on percentages, not on prices. What do I mean? So you are earning 500,000. Don't just say we are looking for accommodation. There are 500,000 naira worth of accommodation. There are 1 million naira worth of accommodation. Put a percentage to it that, okay, we are earning 500,000. 10% will be for accommodation, 10% will be for feeding, maybe 10% will be for saving, this percent will be for this. When you allot according to percentage, then you convert into naira and kobo or whatever denomination you use in your country. Then you will be able to limit what you are looking for within the range of the amount allocated to it. So if you say that, okay, 20% is for accommodation and you are earning 500,000, then you know that any accommodation you are looking for should not be more than 100,000. That will give a direction to the area where you can live and the instruction you can give the agent that is helping you to sort out the accommodation. So it's better to plan in percentages based on what you are earning rather than prices, because if you plan with prices, you will discover that you will allot money to a particular aspect of your life and the other aspects will go unattended to. So you have to balance it by allocating in percentages and you work within what is available or obtainable with the percentage. I will also want to advise that in a marriage or in a relationship, everybody should be doing something that can bring in money. You don't need to have a shop, own a office, or work under any institution. You can work from home. You can work through your laptop. You can work through your phone. Whatever it is, just make sure something is coming in through you so that you will be able to assist the other person. You will not be a liability. The more the money in the family, the more comfortable the family is. Then there are times when there are unforeseen expenses. You might think you have it all planned out, but surprises might happen. It happens in case of planning for a child. Okay, you've decided that you will wait for 2 years. You've waited for 2 years. You've saved up money. And after saving up money for a baby, you go for a scan and you discover that instead of a child, you are carrying triplets. That is an unforeseen expenditure. So it will take multiple streams of income for things like that to happen. So I'll encourage all couples to have something doing. I will round up by saying that whatever you decide to do relationally, be rational about the issues of finance. Whatever you decide to do relationally, be rational about the issue of finance. Money might not be everything, but only a fool will say money is nothing. Money might not be everything, but only a fool will say money is nothing. And I will give you an opportunity before I close this chapter to give your life to Christ. Why do you need Christ? Because the Bible makes us to understand that silver and gold belongs to God. God has money in abundance. Everything we might need, God has it. But it is reserved for God's children. You can choose to become a child of God today if you are yet to be one. And your Father in heaven can channel resources massively in your direction. Kindly say after me if you want to give your life to Jesus today. Lord Jesus, I confess that you are the Son of God, and I believe in my heart that God raised you from the dead on the third day. Therefore, I am saved. All things are passed away, and all things have become new. I receive the wisdom required to make it big in what I do, so much so that I don't have financial issues. Thank you, Jesus, for saving me. In Jesus' name. Please, if you make that decision and you said the confession leading to salvation, kindly drop your details at the comment section, and I promise that I will get across to you immediately. God bless you, and I love you. See you next time.
Get ahead in life and your relationships with all the proven knowledge you will need along the way. Introducing Dr. Seun Olabode's life-changing books, My Dear Daughter, Loving Like the Bad Girls of the Bible, Secret of a Successful Marriage, Systems of Advantage, Brand Your Man, Helpers.com, Attraction Checklist, Shopping for a Lover. To get your copies, call 0703 549 5136 or 070 644 59712. Dr. Seun Olabode's life-changing books, a must-read for you.
A man that does not provide for his family is what?
Is worse than an infidel.
All right. So, should we now say that the responsibility of the family financially should rest solely on the man?
No. A man is expected to provide for the family.
Okay.
But there are certain times that the man will need help from the wife. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah. So at that time, the wife is supposed to be supportive.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Ma, what do you think about joint accounts in marriage?
It depends actually. It's an agreement between the husband and the wife, then it's fine. But there are times that I feel there might be some things you want to do personally. You don't probably want to involve your husband, and you get like you want to do something on your own. It might be for the family, but you don't want to tell him yet or something like that. I'm just indifferent anyways, I don't know. But I think it should be an agreement about you two, or you might have a joint account, okay? Then as well have your own personal account. So at times you might want to do something before you let him know, and so that's my own view about it.
I like the way I'm feeling now. Hey, that I'm feeling now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome back to He's an ASEANs with Dr. Seun. Your regular host is here, Honey Tongue, and I'm still having my wonderful guest. Now, this next set is going to be shaking the table and table the shaking. So just get ready for this. You know, when we were on the first segment, you know, we said so many things. For those still joining us, so you still got part of the gist. You understand? We're talking about family finances. All right. So right about now, before we left, I wanted to ask you that. So now, should it now be that for that spending part? Should it be that okay? The man should some houses do it like this. Okay, as the head, what you should do is pay for house rent, water bill, NEPA bill, anything, all those big something. That's what you will do. If you are even 10,000 naira per month, it does not concern me. This is what you do. Me, as wife, pepe, underwear, pata, things like that. This is what I'll be doing. Is that a good ratio?
No, it is good if you decide to carry it. Who am I to say no? I'm willing to help, but if you decide
no, will you welcome such idea?
Well, suicide is one thing. Self-suicide.
If you decide, wait, which one is self-suicide? Suicide already self. Suicide is already self.
No, that's why I said suicide is one thing.
So are you advocating for that? Yes,
no, I'm not advocating for that. What I'm saying is this.
Would you love that? I mean, just take a responsibility. You
don't
share
God has blessed you.
You don't
just
share
carry it.
So what you're doing now is, after you have paid house rent, nothing else again. You just know that if somebody come and knock the out, you know that's your wife.
Homes cannot be run like that. I remember in January when I moved to my the new apartment now. What I first found out was, okay, what is the recurrent bill on this house? I first started with weekly.
Okay.
For example, like how much do I have to recharge for electricity when all appliances are on for a week? So I got that. I communicated it to my wife that okay, this is this, and I found out that the money we used in the past 3 weeks has been fluctuating between this range. Please find the average.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have that mental preparedness for the money to be spent.
Okay. So
and she's ready to help.
Okay. So you are not advocating for somebody doing a particular thing?
No. Homes cannot be run like that.
Okay.
Homes cannot be run like that. But I will advocate that in the issue of things, the men should be concerned. In the issue of people, the women should be more concerned.
In the issue of things?
Yes, like gen foiling.
Fueling of gen, car fueling,
bill, electricity bill.
For men, Abi?
For men.
Okay.
Yeah,
house rent.
House rent majorly should come from the man because at the head.
My God. So the women.
So you're basically agreeing.
Take care of people.
You might not be absolutely be able to provide all, but at least the larger percentage of the rent should come from you.
Then the man, then the woman.
The woman should take care of what concerns people like bed sheets, like kitchen, cooking.
Napkin.
But you're basically, I think it's basically agreeing with you because those are not recurring costs. So you are agreeing that, you want to pay the rent, you want to pay anything that relates to the fueling of all the cars, fixing of the cars.
What I found out that a larger percentage of our earnings go into feeding and rent. Now, so if I'm concerned with rent,
she should be concerned with
and she's concerned with it.
That is I'm holding two major things.
Yeah.
So I prefer to be concerned with rent. You should be concerned with
feeding.
Do you like that?
I'm not saying.
I think it depends on the family. It's on a case-by-case scenario, really.
Okay, so it shouldn't be a standard.
It is not a standard. It's a case-by. So if you decide like that's how you want to do it.
Okay, so let me wrap that up. No, if I give you you extend it. I don't want to extend it. Now I want to go into this issue. I dealt with it a couple of weeks back. I think I was with a group of friends. A particular guy was telling me that is his own point of view.
Okay.
He does not care whatever anybody says. That's what he would say. But let me just read out the question. So, what do you think of joint account? You know, when things. Okay, let me just ask it before I bring in my own perspective because I do not want to dilute whatever it is you have to say. So, what is your perspective about joint account in marriage?
In marriage, who is going first?
No, I want you to go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joint account in marriage, nothing wrong with it.
So you
again.
Joint
not
account.
For me.
Okay.
Wait, so I believe in project accounts. So I have my money, you have your money.
Okay.
Then we pool funds to do certain things.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So we have this project. We already know that there's a standard one.
Okay.
That is, except we decide to do it otherwise because God has blessed the both of us and money is not an issue. Okay. So just like we were discussing before this question came up, there's house rent, there's feeding, and there might be a few other things like the electricity and whatever. We know that those would always come up either on an annual basis or on a monthly basis. So you can have an account where you pull funds together to do things that concern the two of you. And if you decide to go into other projects, you can either use the same account or you can create another account for other projects that you will do. But I know that when you're talking about joint accounts, what people often mean is that all the money that you make, you put it together, right?
And when you want to spend, you have both signatories on that particular thing.
To now get the money out.
You cannot get it. If I don't sign, you cannot get it.
If it is that, then I don't believe in it.
Wow.
Because, and here's why, there's a reason.
I want you to tell me the reason why. Because joint accounts has its own benefits and
it might. You know. It might, right? But I believe in having how do I say? I think it depends on how much money or how much wealth the both of you are controlling.
Okay, so are you saying
to some extent, so growing up, my parents had joint accounts. They spent everything together.
Wow.
Do you understand? But the truth is that they did not control the level of wealth, the level of riches that I will control. Do you understand? And I'm going to have investment portfolio. I will have real estate portfolio. We would have things that we need money for that are different. Do you understand? So it is not necessary for us to pool our funds and do everything together.
Put your funds in one place. But if your funds are in one place, you can still take it out of that particular joint account to do whatever it is what you want to do.
That's,
so it's not about, it's not until your funds are separate before you can do whatever it is you want to do. It makes you...
It's just because it's business. Now we're talking about business, right? It's just like your businesses are separate. Do you understand? The things that interest me. So I'm more particular about real estate. I should not have you sign on it before I can make an acquisition. Maybe I want to go into Airbnb and I want to acquire a property to rent out. Do you understand? I do not need for you to sign it.
So you're saying you do not need his consent before you take a decision.
We would discuss it. Right?
So that means if you have a joint account, making a decision together before taking your own personal decision, your joint account would help you in that, because you might take the wrong step not knowing it's a wrong deal.
No.
What if you make? What if? See,
we are helping each other already. Do you understand? It's not like you're not aware of what I'm.
How do you want the money to be spent if there is no joint account? So you spend it.
No, remember. I already said that we have project accounts. What I'm against is that by fire by force, we must bring all the money to this table. And if I do not sign, you cannot spend any money. If you do not sign, that's when I have problem.
You want to be able to spend it.
We want to be able to. If I've earned it, I spend it.
You earned it, you spend it. She doesn't believe in joint account, but she believes in project account.
I also believe in project account, and I think these projects should be spelled out before the money is saved.
Okay.
So you have the perspective of what you are saving for, not that you will now reach the middle of the saving and the in-law to the granddaughter of the father.
And I come up, you know what to
say. It is that money we are using. Hell no.
For the family finances. So you don't believe in joint accounts as well?
I don't believe in joint account, but I think there should be project account, and the project should be spelled out before.
When you mean project, when you mean project,
it should be a real emergency that concerns both of us, not any of the third party.
When you mean third party?
No. But if there's a third, it might concern a third party that concerns the two of you. Say your parents, right?
Yeah, my choose one. My dad or my father.
Either one, it doesn't matter to me.
Because they married each other.
Yeah. No. So would you agree?
So let's
say it's a health challenge. Yeah.
So
it is a health challenge. It is a health challenge.
Wow.
The life of one of them is on the line.
Wow. Yeah.
When things like that happen, what do you do?
My dad won't call me. I'm sure of that.
Their life is on the line.
And your dad won't call you.
I'm also sure of one thing.
Okay.
Things like this do come up, and we've seen it happening, and this is the real issue where we've even seen where I think I watched something on ID Extra that the man actually have to fake that he was taking cancer treatments
to get money out.
No,
do you think your parents will do that?
No, I'm not saying they will do it. I'm even thinking, let's say it is real.
Yeah.
Let's say it is real. Let's say everything is real. I am saying they have their life planned.
Mm-hmm.
We are planning ours.
Okay.
They stuck to theirs brought them this far.
So you're saying
I
now?
I do not agree with you because when it comes to life,
so you're saying whatever account. Sorry, please. So whatever it is you're standing on, you shall both of you believe on an account. Yes. But it's not called joint account.
It's not called joint account.
It's called project account.
Yes.
Okay. So let's hang on that.
Let me conclude one thing. I'm not the only person that my parents. If I was the only child.
So we are talking of an emergency now. If it comes up, right?
If it comes up, they have 4 options.
So they should go to the remaining
4 children. They should go to
children.
Before they come and meet you.
So if I can't provide it, my brothers will be able to provide it.
Okay.
If they cannot provide it, then I will have to explain with good excuse to my wife.
Remember that it is life. Okay.
And I should tell her that you are signing it this off because you are not going to tell me to reimburse it.
Yeah, I think that she would understand because it involves
understand.
life.
All right, so we leave the joint account issue. I believe that you heard one or two things from whatever they said. So they are still agreeing on the fact that we shouldn't do joint account, but we can do project account. All right. So, but ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. You know why I asked that is because of the joint account. I thought you guys were going to help me settle the case of how do you curb each other's spending excesses.
Yeah.
You know, because to me, my mom used to say joint account helped them in the way they spend. You know, by the time you want to buy a shoe and you know that your father will still sign, you will now be thinking in your head, how do I explain to him that I need a shoe this week? And you know, you'll be like, oh, I don't need it, Jare. And then you're maybe a member of your family in church that wants to do one wedding, and they now brought lace of 25,000, and there's a place you can get it for 2,500. You understand? So you know, but if you have your finances to yourself, you can do and undo.
Yeah.
You can spend and unspend. Yeah. You can decide to spend lavishly, and that's not wise enough. So sometimes joint accounts has its own benefits and demerits, whichever way you choose to see.
Let me have this. On no point should any partner spend without being accountable.
Okay, so irrespective of whether there's a joint account or not.
You should be able to explain what you. For example, if I tell you I spent 50,000, like we discussed, it is selective. Honestly, I don't mean I spent accurately 50,000. It might be 47,259.
My God.
Okay. Yeah, you're rounding it up.
So because I know you will say I lied again.
No, you're rounding it up. No, that's
you
different.
Still lied, but you rounded it up. It's a rounding of lie.
That one is rounding up, yeah.
Okay, so Tade has made us understand different types of lying. That's what you call selective something.
On this matter about helping joint account helping you to be accountable, whatever.
Yeah.
I think that you know the person you're married to.
Okay.
And if the person, one or both parties is not great with their finance, it might be necessary for one of them to help the other. It might still not be necessary for you to have a joint account. It's just about creating accountability systems. Do you understand?
Accountability system.
And both parties might do it. In the case of the woman, just like you said, it might be that she would spend 100,000 or something and come back and say that 20,000, not her.
Exactly.
Do you understand? Even though she has spent it. You know, earlier I talked about financial infidelity. That's basically financial infidelity. Or the man, or the man coming and saying that. What you said earlier, 100,000. Wait, 100. Wait, no. Let me finish. And you said that. You said that.
I have less minutes.
And you said that it is 100,000 that you earn. 100,000. Let me finish. And you earn 100,000, and you now be saving 50,000, 50,000, and not disclosing it. That is infidelity again. Do you understand? So it is. You can still hold each other accountable, not. But if you think that it is joint accounts that would help you, then it's fine. Please feel free.
So if you feel that's what you help, please help yourself by helping the country. Now, I want to do this. This last one, I need us to attend to it. All right? So it won't take too much time, but I need your point to be as assertive as possible. If the wife works with a multinational company where she earns, like, let's say 700,000 naira per month, and the husband is a school teacher that earns something like, let's say, 50,000 naira per month. Okay, now, so I'm painting a scenario.
Yeah.
Now, she comes home she comes back home late at night, say 8, 9, sometimes 10, depending on how the hold up is. And the husband gets home, say 2, 3, being a school teacher, maximum, let's say 4. That's the peak of it. Now, should the wife, I'm painting a scenario, should the wife, is the scenario of the woman being the breadwinner of the family a threat to the survival of the marriage?
No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
No, okay, so when she comes back home, should she still be cooking? Should she be washing? Should she be doing the things that at time cannot even permit her to do? While the husband is there. Before she comes back, I was thinking that he should have maybe cooked pounded jam, done a couple of, hello, John, is it a 4 you want or a goosey? So how should we do it? So I'm talking about the fact that I'm painting a scenario where the wife earns more than the husband. So the wife being the breadwinner of the family. Should that be a concern?
On a funny note, I want to ask how they met in the first place.
How does that affect being the breadwinner of the family? What if a scenario like this? Okay, they were working together in a company and then they laid them off.
Okay, that was just on a funny note. But really, the man should stick with some of the house chores that he can help with.
Oh, the man should stick with some of the house.
There are expectations that a man will not fulfill righteously.
Like?
For example, I think it was when my wife was about to deliver that I understood that I cannot make amala successfully.
Wow, you're not a successful amala maker.
So I made the amala and I was like, oh no, I can't take this to her in the hospital.
Even you cannot eat it.
I had to quickly dispose it so that nobody else will see it apart from me.
Okay, thank God she's hearing right now. So
now, the thing is, there are things we cannot, as men, cannot fulfill.
Okay.
Like the detail that the women we put into it.
Okay.
So I think things like cooking.
Okay.
Few men can cook. Most of us are not blessed with it. So I think on the weekend, maybe we should cook, not.
Okay, it should be a we thing, irrespective of the fact that she's coming back home by 10. So she should still cook.
I mean, on weekends, we can choose a day.
Okay, what should happen during the week?
What should happen during the week should be okay. Take this from the microwave, put it in the microwave 1 minute before I come. Cook hot water.
Okay, she should have done it before she left.
No, she
pounded jam before going.
She will have to have time. Maybe during the weekend or maybe a break during the.
She will now cook for the whole week.
We will cook.
Okay.
But you already said you don't know. You don't know how to cook.
There are
moral support cooking. There are
3 processes of cooking.
Wow, talk to us.
Pre-cooking, cooking, and post-cooking.
Please. I want you to take your time in breaking this down. Okay. What is pre-cooking?
Pre-cooking is okay. Take 3 cups of rice from the store. Put it in a bowl. Water, wash it. Put it on fire. When it gets to fire, that's cooking. That's where she comes in fully involved. And mind you, she's not the fire and she's not the pot. She's only watching over boots.
Wow.
So,
wow. No. You're blessing me, sir. So what's the post cooking?
The post cooking is what I can actually engage in again. Okay. That's the washing of plates, cleaning of sink.
So you're saying you engage in pre-cooking and post-cooking, and she will do the cooking. That's the real work now. The cooking is the real work.
The real work. They make this one look like the real work because they want us to believe, oh, I'm the fire and the pot.
But she's not the fire, she's not the pot. She's just monitoring it.
So, dude, you need to monitor now. How hard is it to monitor?
No, it's not like you are.
Talk to me, Janet. Talk to me, Janet.
I was like, okay.
You don't see it like.
Do we need a chair in the kitchen now so that?
Let me cut it short. My director is already saying something. Should that be a cause of concern, being the breadwinner as the woman?
So 2 things are involved.
Use yourself as a point of.
2 things are involved here.
Yes.
There's money, and there's time. Okay. But honestly, looking at this matter, we'll see that it is not the money that is the issue here. Yeah. It's the time. It's the fact that one person arrives 3 o'clock and has so much time, and the other person arrives at about 10 p.m.
Yeah.
and probably leaves the house at about 6 a.m. again. Do you understand? And you already mentioned that it is a teaching job, so the person is probably leaving for work at about 7.
Exactly.
Do you understand? 7 a.m. in the morning.
The school might not even be too far from.
So in this case, the fact that the man has to step in and do more is not because the wife is earning more than he is, and she's therefore demanding that, oh, a minimum for Wosole, I'm the one who left the money, then that's not the issue here. The issue is that there's less time and I believe that as much as it can do, when people say that, oh, men cannot cook, there are 1,001 things that I as a woman do not know how to cook. And when it becomes necessary for me to cook it, I need to go look for recipes. I need to go look for videos to help me. Recipes will tell you how much time the food needs to be on the fire. So what else do you need? It will tell you, oh, take a cup of this, put it on the fire. It needs to stay for 5 minutes. It's an intelligent subject. Oh. You can't, anybody can cook.
So anybody can cook. So your point of view now.
If you need to cook, just select the things that you know how to cook or that you can follow. Instructions that you can follow. There are simple instructions that you can follow. Spaghetti, it is right there. Follow it and cook.
Oh my God. Hey! And we don't have time again. we have exceeded the time, and I wish that we could just hit on this topic more because some people feel because the wife earns more, she will lack respect, she will not need that again. She'll just be like, and then everything she does, you might be looking at it that it's because she's earning more. She might just probably do things out of volition or maybe out of
or to be taken out of
like,
context.
Hey, she walked away from me just because she's earning more. You understand? And you can even wake her up. Babe, let's do something. I'm like, I'm tired, you see? It's because she's earning more. I cannot ask for my right anymore. So, so leave your comments on all our social media handles that will be displayed on your screen. You can drop your comments. If you need answers to some questions, drop it off there. Our organizers will be there to attend to you back to back. I guess you've learned one or two things from today's Ease and Hands with Dr. Seun. One word before you leave.
Is it that she cooks or we cook?
Is it that she cooks or we cook?
Talk to us. I think in finance, in the matters of finance, and when it comes to family, trust is important.
Trust.
And you should start building that trust right from when you get into the relationship and maintain it in marriage.
Thank you all so much. You understand. You know how we do it. I'm your sincerely honey tongue. And this is and has Hands with Dr. Seun. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us. We love you so much. Don't go anywhere. This will still continue after Ease and Hands. That's how we go. All right, so let's just sip our tea. We refuse to sip it.
Should a single guy disclose his salary to his spouse before marriage?
No.
Why?
No, because because though it depends on the spouse anyway, because some spouse tend to want to take advantage of that, and start bringing unnecessary billings because he can afford it, and when he's choosing not to do it, it will now look like he's being selfish or he doesn't love me enough. Well, it depends on actually the person you are marrying. While some will see it as an opportunity to help him grow, build, he can invest in things, can assist in the growth, of the guy or of the man.
Okay.
But see our generation ladies nowadays, forget. I just think, no, not entirely. You can let them know what you want to know. You will know who will love you from there.
Okay.
Yes.
So, a woman being the breadwinner of the family, is it a threat to the family?
Yes, to my opinion, I think it's true because most men, they will feel they are not man enough to take care of the family or take care of bills in the family. So it's a threat to them.
So it's a threat to the family?
Yeah. Because some women, once they are the one providing for the family, they have this ego in them that they'll feel they are the man. There'll be lack of respect and other things.
In marriage, I believe that we are there to help ourselves. There's nothing like the responsibility should be on the man alone. Your right is to say, if the both of us do it together, everything is going to come out excellent.
Wow.
No, I'm dancing. Really, I do not want to stop this event. I wish this prayer edition can just continue and continue and continue. Namaste, namaste. All right, thank you all so much for tuning in. For those who watched us on whatever social media platform you watched us on, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or our Facebook. Follow us, like our pages, drop your comments, drop your reviews. Let us know what you feel about all that we are giving you and dishing to you. Thank you all so much. We love you. Easy Nas with Dr. Seun. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Namaste.